OK, we have some breaking news out of Thailand now for you. The former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has been ordered to serve 1 year in prison. Just to remind you, of course, Thaksin received an 8-year sentence for abuse of power and conflicts of interest back in 2023. The Supreme Court determined if he should serve jail time in lieu of the 6 months he spent in hospital detention. The reason, obviously, for the controversy is because on the first night he was in prison, he was moved to a police hospital after reporting chest pains. He was then allowed to stay in a VIP ward until he was eventually paroled. We will, of course, get more on that story that is breaking right now. Hopefully, we'll also speak to our correspondent in Bangkok, Tony Cheng, who is ready for us now. Tony, talk us through the significance of this Supreme Court ruling.
Well, news is just filtering out, and I don't know if you can see behind me, but there's been a ripple going through the crowd of red shirt supporters who are here outside the Supreme Court. We don't know a lot of the details yet, just that the court has really found the worst result possible for Thaksin Shinawatra, which was that year he spent the 6 months he spent in detention, all of it pretty much, which was spent in a police hospital, that is now being deemed unlawful, and they say he must go back to jail for a year. We think he's going to be taken straight off to jail today. We haven't seen anyone emerge from the courtroom yet, but of all of the options that were on the table, either complete release or some form of home arrest, this is the worst option, and I think that is a sign of really the fortunes of the Shinawatra family that have taken a real hit over the past 7 days after his daughter Paetongtarn Shinawatra was ejected from her position as Prime Minister permanently after being suspended earlier in the summer by the Constitutional Court. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear, there's certainly a hum whistling through the crowd now as that news is filtering out. And these people will be very disappointed. This is the hardcore of supporters of Thaksin Shinawatra. But I think possibly no surprise around the country in general. People, I think, were quite disappointed that he spent all of that time in the police hospital. He didn't even end up serving a night in jail in the end. And I think this will be seen as some kind of justifiable sentence for the crimes that many people feel that he was guilty of during his time in power.
And Tony, I think we've just been seeing some images of Paetongtarn Shinawatra approaching the microphones there. Obviously, you said that her role in politics has been somewhat turbulent as well. The Shinawatra family casting a long shadow over Thai politics for some time. Does this go some way in answering public frustration over misdealings within the political elite in the country?
It's interesting. I mean, Thaksin Shinawatra himself has really stood astride Thai politics for nearly 2 decades now. He's been an enormous figure. A lot of that time he spent in exile, self-imposed. But what we've seen over the last week is really the diminishment of that influence. His party, Pheu Thai, when he came back 2 years ago, came into government as the lead in the ruling coalition. His daughter eventually became Prime Minister, and it was felt, I think, at the time that this could be a second coming for Mr. Thaksin. But over the last 2 years, we've really seen his influence wane. He wasn't able to bring to bear that kind of dynamism that we'd seen before, the economic opportunities that we saw in the early 2000s when he was himself Prime Minister. He had 2 proxies in the position of Prime Minister, first Sethar Thavisin, and then his daughter Paetongtarn Shinawatra. Neither of them was able to get the economy moving. Sethar was eventually kicked out a year ago. Then last week his daughter was kicked out by the Constitutional Court. Now there are enormous questions about Thai democracy and the power of organisations like the Constitutional Court to eject them. But I think sympathy for Mr. Thaksin as the figurehead of that democratic movement have really changed somewhat. He did a deal with the military to get back into power, and I think that has diminished his popularity considerably.
All right, Tony, many thanks for that. Tony Cheng there in Bangkok on the breaking news that the former Prime Minister of Thailand, Thaksin Shinawatra, has been ordered by the country's Supreme Court to serve 1 year in prison.
Don't miss out and get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.